My wife is pregnant, so the baby is due here in about a month and a half, and so we have been getting the nursery ready. The first thing that we did is we created this really fun wall that we wanted to share on exactly how we did this, this little paint pattern and things like that. We wanted to have something nice to look at when we were staying up late with the baby, holding her, and just something nice to look at, I guess. So we're gonna walk you through step by step exactly how we did this, and let's jump right in. Okay, so the first thing we did here is we started off by taping out the lines where we're going to be painting the arrows. As you see, we did one right horizontal across and then went vertically. We spaced these out every about 3 inches, and we ended up using a level to make sure that each one was as straight as possible. What do we got here, Zoe?
Baby's nursery.
And what did we learn about the acrylic paint? We think that's the way to go?
Are you talking about the pen?
Yeah, the pen.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah, we did some test trials over here. This is how the acrylic pen looked. This is how some of the other tests were, just with the paintbrush. Kind of sloppy. So we think that the paintbrush is going to be the way to go. Or the acrylic paint. This is what we used before. Not as good. And I will leave a link to that acrylic paint down below because I know that's helpful to see exactly what we used. We also did use a speed square here to make sure that each line was straight. And essentially what we did is we lined it up with the line before it. We kind of spaced it out ourselves to give it more of a natural look. This did take a little bit of time, but actually, to be honest, hanging up the tape took longer than painting itself. So we were grateful to kind of just bust through this part. This very edge in the last part, the speed score didn't actually end up fitting against that wall for me to be able to line it up. So I did have to go and cut like a piece of cardboard to kind of make another stencil on that. So just be aware if you're using the speed square. And here's what it kind of looked like after we've gotten the painting done. And now here we are getting started on the actual board and batten on the bottom. We lined it up just so it covered the very bottom of the lines of those arrows, just to give it more of a kind of clean look. To attach the boards to the wall, I did use a brad nailer, and then I did go back through and spackle in between each board to make it look connected. And then I did go through and caulk wherever there was a gap in the wall. They don't really get shown in detail when we're going through the time lapse. A couple of things that you want to do to make this board and batten look really clean and professional is you're going to want to spackle these edges. So right here, this is actually where this MDF panel and this MDF panel meet. But what I did is I went through and I added a layer of spackling, and then I sanded it down. And in this case, I actually added a second layer of spackling and sanded it down as well, just to make it look like it was kind of one continuous connected board. And as you see, you do that for all the ones there. Down below, we got lucky that our baseboards were the same width as the MDF board that we're going to be using. So I didn't have to cut a lot of people will tell you to cut a 45-degree angle at the bottom with your miter saw if you're wanting to kind of prevent that hangover. Also, you are going to want to go through and caulk all of these lines that you see right here, just to make it look like it's attached to the wall as much as possible. It really does give it more of a clean look and makes it look more built in, especially on the edges over here. I know it's kind of dark, so I'm not sure if you can see that. We did not, though, however, caulk up. I guess I actually did a little bit right here, but we didn't go through and caulk the edges of this. Just because if we were to do that, we would have ended up having some white bleed over onto these lines. And so on the, dropped my phone almost. On the top of these, none of that is caulked at all. And as you see, it's kind of the same throughout here. So just some little details that make it easier to do the board and batten. Another thing is you will want to use a brad nailer to nail these in. Let's see if I can find some of my there are nail marks throughout all of here, and here as well. But what I did is I went through and added some wood filler and then painted over top of those so that you can't see it. And that's the advantage of using the brad nailers. If you were to use regular nails, it would be very hard to hide those nail holes. So just a few tips while you're building the board and batten if that's something that you're looking into doing. making some progress on the room. Here's where it stands today. We got a nice little tree in there. I did end up going back, and I didn't show it in the video, but I went and added like a little border here up along the wall just to kind of give it a more clean finish. We added some shelves, but here's what it looks like as of now. We're still making progress, but we really love how it turned out. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully it was helpful for you.